Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, most merciful. Dear students, I am Dr. Asrar Ahmed and it's my first lecture about electrochemistry, and this topic electrochemistry belongs to the chapter Advanced Physical Chemistry, the course code of which is CHEM 3117. Dear students, before starting my topic, let us see what are the contents which we will study in this chapter. Dear students, the chapter electrochemistry which we will study according to scheme of study, we will study following topics: redox reactions, electrochemical cells, electrolytic cells, standard electrode potential, electrochemical series, Nast equation, thermodynamics of redox reactions, measurement of pH and pKa, dynamic electrochemistry, electrochemical series, liquid junction potential, spontaneous reaction, Latimer diagram, and Frost diagram. Dear students, today we will study the following key concepts. Number one, that what are the important applications of electrochemistry. Number two, what is electrochemistry? How can you differentiate between reduction and oxidation? How can you differentiate between electrolytic and electrochemical cells? What are differences between primary and secondary cells? Dear students, first of all, we study the applications of electrochemistry. So, first of all, let us see, is our modern life in which we are using different types of electronic devices like laptop, like mobile phone, like power toys, flashlight, other so many devices. Is it possible that can we live in this modern life without applying the basic concepts of electrochemistry? You can say that without applying the electrochemical concepts, the modern devices cannot be manufactured. So in every modern device, you will find there shall be use of batteries or fuel cell or some kind of other like these things. So our modern life will not be possible without electrochemistry, because all batteries and fuel cells, all batteries and fuel cells are made up by applying the basic concepts of electrochemistry. Batteries. What do the batteries do in our equipments? Batteries produce electrical energy by means of chemical reactions, and batteries are used in our power toys, in flashlight, in electronic calculators, radios, tape recorders, mobile phones, computers, laptops, especially in hybrid cars. Similarly, corrosion of metal, non-metal and ceramics, it is also based upon the basic concepts of electrochemistry. Pacemakers. You know pacemakers? Dear students, Pacemaker is a device built in our heart and it controls the rhythm of our heart. It controls the heartbeat. And if you think that your heartbeat is controlled by your beloved, then it is wrong. Your heartbeat is controlled by pacemakers. In our next slide, I will show you what pacemaker looks like. Similarly, electrolytic and synthetic methods used for the preparation of chemical products, they are totally based on electrochemistry. Electrochemical methods of analysis, for example, electrolysis, conductometry, potentiometry, polarography, voltammetry, they are all based upon electrochemistry. Dear students, these are some technologies which are based on the electrochemistry. Electrochemistry, it is the it is controlling all type of sensing materials. Sensing material, just like you see these traffic signals. In traffic signals, you see red light, green light, yellow light. All these lights which are using sensors, these sensing is totally based upon electrochemistry. Similarly, nowadays there are many Japanese cars in which different sensors are built in inside the engine, inside the silencer, inside other parts. Whenever there is a problem, then Japanese cars show check light, and by seeing the check light, a driver can see that what problem is being created in the engine. So similarly, you have seen in Europe, in other advanced countries, there are smoke sensors, and these smoke sensors, they are also working on the principles of electrochemistry. Similarly, nowadays you are using so many biosensors to sense different types of bacteria, different types of to sense different types of germs. All these biosensors, they are also based upon the basic concepts of electrochemistry. Similarly, electrochemistry is involved in the Korean process. And in the next lectures, I will guide you how Korean is made when every metal, especially iron metal, it gets corrosion due to the formation of a galvanic cell. So, corrosion of iron, especially, I will discuss this point that due to corrosion, about 25% of the iron production is wasted. So, if we want to control the corrosion of iron, then we have to stop the formation of galvanic cells built inside the iron metal. So we are using different techniques like formation of alloys, covering of the surface of the iron with other material like paints or any other metal, anodization. We will discuss it later. Anyhow, the main point here is to discuss that corrosion is based upon the principle of electrochemistry. Similarly, dear students, you have studied organic electrosynthesis. Organic electrosynthesis, in which especially you see different named reactions, and you whenever you study any mechanism of any organic reaction, then what happens, an electron is released from a one molecule and the other molecule accepts that electron. So this removing of electron and gaining of electron from one molecule to another molecule, it also involves the electrochemistry. Similarly, industrial electrolysis. Industrial electrolysis is very important because nowadays there are so many industries which are using electrolytic process. For example, you have seen electroplating, you have studied electrodeposition, the coating of one metal on the other metal. All jewelry, especially artificial jewelry that is made up of copper or cheap metal that is covered with gold. So, artificial jewelry that is being prepared by applying the industrial electrolysis is also based upon the basic concepts of electrochemistry. You just imagine if we remove artificial jewelry in our lady's life, then what will happen? You can have an idea. Because artificial jewelry is being used nowadays almost in every country. And artificial jewelry is totally depending upon the electrochemistry. Similarly, nowadays, two main important applications of electrochemistry are energy storage and energy conversion. For energy storage, you are using this cell or battery, and for energy conversion, just like nowadays you are converting solar light into electrical energy by using solar panels. So the functioning of a solar panel, it also based upon the electrochemistry, while energy storage is also based upon the electrochemistry. So this picture is clearly showing that electrochemistry is being involved in the sensing process, in the corrosion process, organic electrosynthesis, industrial electrolysis for energy conversion and energy storage. Dear students, this is the artificial pacemaker, this one, where I am showing with my cursor, and this pacemaker is connected with this heart through these electrodes. These electrodes are connected with the heart, and this pacemaker controls the heartbeat. अगर आप समझते हैं कि आपकी दिल की धड़कन आपका महबूब कंट्रोल करता है, तो ये गलत है. आपके दिल की धड़कन ये पेसमेकर कंट्रोल करता है, एंड इट इज नेचुरली बिल्ट इनसाइड. समटाइम दिस नेचुरल pacemaker when stops working, then doctors use artificial pacemakers in such patients whose heart is having some problem relating to their heartbeat. Similarly, this pacemaker sends different electric pulses. Due to electric pulses, this heart, it expands, it scatters, and it circulates the blood to all our other parts of the body. So this blood is circulated in the body by pumping of the heart, and for the pumping of heart, this pacemaker sends electric pulses. Dear students, this is the internal diagram of the pacemaker, in which you are showing that electrodes of the pacemaker, they are connected with an internal circuit, and this internal circuit is present inside a main case. In this picture, you are just seeing the main case, and inside the main case there is electronic circuit, and that electronic circuit is connected with the electrodes. Anyhow, these are some hybrid cars, and nowadays the mostly research is being done in the advanced countries that how can we produce alternative energy resources, because we are using fossil fuel like petroleum, like diesel for our automobiles. And after 100 year, after 200 year, after 500 year, what will happen? Our fossil fuels, they will be finished. Then what we will do? So in recent years, scientists have developed hybrid cars that are using an electrical storage battery. Up to 60 kilometers, these hybrid cars, they use electrical energy from the battery, and whenever you speed up your car and car gets a speed more than 60 kilometer per hour speed, then that is automatically converted onto fuel energy on petroleum or any other like diesel or something else. So you can say that in this modern life, the hybrid cars, they are also working on the principle of electrochemistry. Similarly, on the other side, there is the picture of a Samsung battery of a Samsung mobile or any other mobile you can say. The battery, this mobile battery, it is also based upon the electrochemistry because there you can see here are some terminals. These are terminals. These are basically electrodes. These electrodes, they due to using of this electrode, they are recharged, they are discharged. The battery is used in this mobile. So you can discharge, you can recharge this battery, and this whole process of the battery is controlled by electrochemistry. Dear students, now in the next part of the lecture, we will study that what is electrochemistry. Electrochemistry क्या है? Electrochemistry is a branch of physical chemistry and it deals with the conversion of electrical energy into chemical energy and chemical energy into electrical energy. So you can say that electrochemistry deals with the conversion of electrical energy into chemical energy or vice versa. Because according to first law of thermodynamics, you have law of conservation of energy, you have studied that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. But one form of energy can be converted into another form. Just like in physics, you study that potential energy is converted into kinetic energy and kinetic energy can be converted into potential energy. So one form of energy is converted into another form. So this branch of chemistry, electrochemistry, this is the conversion of electrical energy into chemical energy or chemical energy into electrical energy. Dear students, this red color highlighting that both these two types of energy, they are interconvertible. Now question arises, what is meant by electrical energy and what is meant by chemical energy? Electrical energy, that is very simple, it is produced due to flow of electron. जब एक इलेक्ट्रॉन फ्लो करेगा उसके नतीजे में इलेक्ट्रिकल एनर्जी प्रोड्यूस होगी. But chemical energy is produced as a result of redox reaction. Redox reaction means those reactions in which reduction and oxidation take place. So you can say that electrochemistry deals with the conversion of chemical energy into electrical energy or electrical energy into chemical energy. And chemical energy is produced as a result of redox reactions. Redox means reduction reaction and oxidation reaction. So in the next slide, we have a comparison in which you will see what is meant by reduction and what is meant by oxidation. Dear students, there are basically four differences between reduction and oxidation. Reduction means gain of hydrogen. Oxidation is the reverse, lose of hydrogen is called. So gain of hydrogen is called reduction, while lose of hydrogen is called oxidation. Similarly, gain of electron is reduction, while lose of electron is oxidation. Similarly, lose of oxygen is called reduction, while gain of oxygen is called oxidation. And the fourth major difference is that decrease in the oxidation state is called reduction, while increase in the oxidation state is called oxidation. In this example, you can see that if manganese plus 7 is converted into manganese plus 2, it will be reduction. Similarly, if ferrous plus 2 is converted into ferric plus 3, it means it is the oxidation, because here oxidation has decreased from plus 7 to plus 2, so it is the reduction, while in iron the oxidation state has increased from plus 2 to plus 3, so it is the oxidation. Here it is another example that if we react solid magnesium with solid copper oxide, then we produce copper and magnesium oxide. In this reaction, what will happen? That copper oxide has been reduced to copper because there is the loss of oxygen, while magnesium has been converted into magnesium oxide because it has gained the oxygen. So magnesium has been oxidized and copper oxide has been reduced. So there is a reduction of copper oxide and oxidation of magnesium. So you can say that there are four differences between reduction and oxidation. Number one, gain of hydrogen is called reduction, while loss of hydrogen is called oxidation. Similarly, gain of electron is called reduction and loss of electron is called oxidation. Loss of oxygen is called reduction, while gain of oxygen is called oxidation. Similarly, decrease in the oxidation state is called reduction and increase in the oxidation state is called oxidation. Dear students, dear students, now we will study that what are differences between electrolytic and electrochemical cell. This is the picture of electrolytic cell and this is the picture of an electrochemical cell. Now, in the next slide, we will see that what are the differences between electrolytic and electrochemical cell. So you can see here that there is use of salt bridge in electrochemical cell, while there is no use of salt bridge in the electrolytic cell. Similarly, the major difference is that in electrolytic cell, anode is positively charged, while in electrochemical cell, the anode is negatively charged. Similarly, in electrolytic cell, cathode is negatively charged, while in electrochemical cell, cathode is positively charged. So, just for a comparison, now we will study that what are differences between electrochemical cell and electrolytic cell. Dear students, it is a comparison between electrochemical and electrolytic cell. So the first difference is that chemical energy is converted into electrical energy in an electrochemical cell, while in the electrolytic cell, electrical energy is converted into chemical energy. So number one, you can say it is the reverse of this point, because chemical energy is converted into electrical energy in the electrochemical cell, while electrical energy is converted into chemical energy in the electrolytic cell. Second difference is that in electrochemical cell, spontaneous reactions complete in this cell. Electrochemical cell is the cell in which spontaneous reaction complete the cell, while redox reactions are mostly non-spontaneous in the electrolytic cell. So the second difference is that in electrochemical cell, spontaneous reactions are completed, but in the electrolytic cell, redox reactions when take place, then they are non-spontaneous. Spontaneous mean that take place automatically, but non-spontaneous mean that they do not take place automatically, they have to do, we have to use some external force to complete such reactions. Similarly, in electrochemical cell, we can set up two electrodes in the solution of the same or different electrolytes. So when you insert two electrodes, then the solution, it may be the same or it may be different. But in the electrolytic cell, the two electrodes are set up in the same electrolytic solution. So if the electrode is zinc, then solution must contain zinc. If the electrode is copper, then that must be containing some copper ion. So the point number 3 is very important, that in the electrolytic cell, two electrodes are set up in the same electrolytic solution. And the fourth difference is the electrode on which oxidation takes place is called anode, and that electrode on which reduction takes place is called cathode. But in the electrolytic cell, it is totally different, because that electrode which is connected to the negative terminal of battery is called cathode, and that electrode which is connected to the positive terminal of battery, it will be anode. So here the definition of anode and cathode is changed. Similarly, the major difference is that in electrochemical cell, we always use a salt bridge, but in the electrolytic cell, there is no need of any salt bridge. So, dear students, from this comparison, you have an idea that an electrolytic and electrochemical cell, the first difference is the conversion of energy. If chemical energy is converted into electrical energy, it means that cell is electrochemical. An electrolytical cell that converts electrical energy into chemical energy. Similarly, electrochemical cell, they involve the spontaneous reactions, while electrolytic cell, they involve the non-spontaneous reactions. In electrochemical cell, two electrodes are set up in the solution of the same or different electrolytes. But in the electrolytic cell, the two electrodes are set up in the same electrolytic solution. Similarly, the fourth difference is very clear, that the electrode in the electrochemical cell on which oxidation takes place is called anode, and the electrode on which reduction takes place, it is called cathode. But in the electrolytic cell, the electrode that is connected to the negative terminal of battery, it will be cathode, and that is connected to the positive terminal of battery, that will be anode. And the fifth difference is very important here, that in electrochemical cell, there is a need of salt bridge. Without salt bridge, an electrochemical cell cannot be manufactured. But there is no need of any salt bridge in the electrolytic cell. Now we will study in detail the electrochemical cell or galvanic cell or voltaic cell. Dear students, voltaic pile, this voltaic pile is the first ever battery used in the history. So you remember here that voltaic pile was first invented battery, that is called electrical battery, and its name was named Volta. Volta is the first electrical battery, and it is also called voltaic pile. And voltaic pile invented the first electrical battery, due to which, by using its name Volta, it is named as Volta battery. A voltaic cell, but was named after Alessandro Volta. And voltaic cell was also named as Alessandro Volta, and galvanic cell was named after Luigi Galvani. So by Luigi Galvani, the word Galvani, this electrochemical cell is also called galvanic cell. This battery consists of two different metals connected by a Salt bridge, or individual half cells separated by a porous membrane. Dear students, in my previous lecture, we have studied a comparison between electrolytic and electrochemical cell. Dear students, the main difference between electrochemical cell and electrolytic cell was the use of salt bridge. In point number 5, we studied that there is no use of salt bridge in the electrolytic cell, but in the electrochemical cell, we use a salt bridge. So, this part of my lecture will deal with the salt bridge, what are its different shapes, how it can be manufactured, what are the functions of a salt bridge. So, dear students, in this diagram, you see that in this electrochemical cell, we have used a salt bridge. Here, this is the salt bridge, this one. And if you see here that this salt bridge is connecting two different solutions. One here is in the zinc solution, and the other is the copper rod solution. That this copper rod has been dipped in the copper sulfate solution. So these are two different solutions, and these solutions, they are connected through with each other through a salt bridge. When there will be redox reaction, then what will happen? Then electron will flow from this rod, zinc rod, to copper rod, and flow of electron from zinc to copper rod. If we use a lamp here, then by the flow of electron, it will start glowing. Similarly, there are some electrochemical cells in which we use two different solutions, just like zinc sulfate and copper sulfate, in a same container. But the two different solutions, they are separated by using a porous membrane here, or porous disc. This disc separates the two solutions. Here, this porous disc, this porous disc acts as a salt bridge. This porous. Yeah. So zinc rod dipped in zinc sulfate solution, copper rod dipped in copper sulfate solution, and this porous disc that acts as a salt bridge, it will keep separate both solutions. So, dear students, now he will study that how this salt bridge is made and what are its different shapes. Different students, dear students, remember that shape of a salt bridge, it may be U-shaped, like this one, or like this one. It may be U-shaped, but you can give it any shape according to your requirement. Mostly it is U-shaped, but in modern cells, it is usually a thin film. Just like you see in this diagram that here the use of porous disc, this is the thin film. This thin film will act as a salt bridge. So salt bridge may be U-shaped or it may be a thin film. Its shape depends upon different requirements of a practical. So in the next slide, we will study that what are the functions of a salt bridge. So if we study the functions of a salt bridge, then dear students, remember that a salt bridge keeps both solution neutral. ये दोनों सॉल्यूशनों को न्यूट्रल रखता है, किसी के ऊपर पॉजिटिव या नेगेटिव चार्ज इकट्ठा नहीं होने देता. सो इट कीप्स both solution neutral. And the second function of salt bridge is it keeps an electrical contact between both solutions. You see in the previous diagram that here are two different solutions, but this salt bridge will keep an electrical contact between both these two different solutions. So the first function of the salt bridge is that it keeps both solution neutral, and the other function is that it keeps an electrical contact between both these two solutions. And the third most important function is it avoids the mixing of both solutions if they are present in the same cell. So in this diagram, you can see that here, this porous disc that is working as a salt bridge, it will keep both solutions separate from each other. It will avoid the mixing of two solutions. So dear students, the major function of a salt bridge are that it will keep both solution neutral, it will keep an electrical contact between both solution, and it will avoid the mixing of both solutions if they are in the same cell. Dear students, if we see the manufacturing of a salt bridge, then it is very simple. To prepare a salt bridge, what we will do, we will prepare a paste of gelatin with an electrolyte. We will mix two things. Number one, gelatin. Gelatin means just like a material you have used to prepare jelly-like things, like you are using different you have been eating different types of jellies in your childhood. That jellies type candies, they are made up of by the use of gelatin. It is also present naturally, but it nowadays it is artificially synthesized. So if you mix gelatin with an electrolyte. Electrolyte, that material that produces ions, positive and negative. And the most commonly used electrolytes are potassium chloride, potassium nitrate, sodium chloride, or whatever. But the most frequently used are potassium chloride and potassium nitrate because their electrical conductivity is greater than any other electrolyte. So if you make a paste of gelatin with an electrolyte, then that paste, if you fill in the U-shaped tube or you just make a thin film of that paste, then it will work as a salt bridge. And the name is very clear, जैसे नाम ही काफी है, salt bridge, नमक का पुल. तो आप इसके नाम से आइडिया लगा सकते हैं because it contains different salts. It may be potassium chloride. Potassium chloride is a salt. Potassium nitrate, it is a salt. So this bridge is made up of by using a salt, due to which it is called salt bridge. Dear students, now we will see that what is difference between cell and battery. Dear students, cell is a single while battery is made up of different cells. So you can say if there is a single cell, it will be cell. But if you connect different cells or more than one cells in a series, then you will get a battery. Just like your car battery, there are 6 cells in a car battery. Every cell produces 2 volts of current. So a car battery is mostly of 12 volts because every cell is producing 2 volts. So a car battery will be of 12 volts. So here is another type of cell, which is simply called primary and secondary cell. Dear students, if you have used cell in your life, just like in your childhood you have been using Chanda battery cell, like 555 cell, Toshiba cell, these are the cells which when you use for the first time, then you discarded them because they are not rechargeable. Similarly, if you are using a mobile battery, then you have seen that you are recharging it again and again. So from here, from the charging point of view, you can say there are two types of cell. One is the primary and the other is the secondary. Primary cell is the cell that is designed to be used only once and discarded. प्राइमरी सेल एक ऐसा सेल है जिसको सिर्फ आप एक बार इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं और उसके बाद फेंक देते हैं. इट इज डिस्पोजेबल. सो प्राइमरी सेल is a galvanic battery and it can be used only once, and after the use you just discard it. But a secondary cell, it is a rechargeable battery and it can be recharged with electricity again and again and can be reused. So the major difference between primary and secondary cell is that primary cell can be used only once, but a secondary cell it can be reused because it can be recharged while primary cell cannot be recharged. Similarly, primary cell is available in standard sizes. Standard sizes mean just like you are using different types of cell like pencil cell, like wart cell, like your geyser cell. If you are using pencil cell, they are of triple A size. If you are using wart cell, that is double A size. And if you are using geyser cell, then a radio cell, then they are A size. So primary cells are available in the market like triple A size, double A size, and single A size. But a secondary cell is that is adjusted. Its size is adjustable according to the device. So the size of a secondary cell is adjustable and it depends upon the size of devices. So according to size of device, the size of a secondary cell can be adjusted. For example, if you see in the next slide, this is the primary cell. The primary cell, this is the internal diagram that is made up of steel cap, steel cover, insulation, electrolyte paste that contains ammonium chloride, zinc chloride, or manganese dioxide. So, a primary cell is just, you can see in this diagram, its size is triple A size, double A size, or single A size. But here you can see these are different secondary cells just like you can see here it is a laptop battery, it is also a laptop battery, it is a laptop battery cell, it is the processor cell, it is the button cell. So the size of a secondary cell it can be adjusted according to the size of the device. Dear students, primary cells mostly power up small household appliances such as flashlight, portable radios, or torch. But secondary cells they power up the devices like digital cameras, mobile cells, laptops. So, dear students, from this slide, you can have an idea that the primary cell is a galvanic battery that is designed to be used only once and it is discarded while a secondary cell, it is a rechargeable battery that can be recharged with electricity and reused. Similarly, primary cell is made in a range of standard sizes, while the size of a secondary cell is adjusted according to the device. And primary cell power up the small household appliances such as flashlight, portable radio, and torch, while secondary cells they are mostly used in digital devices like digital camera, mobile cell, laptop. So dear students, from this diagram, you can have an idea that how this is the primary cell and this is the secondary cell. Dear students, now at the end of lecture, you have to complete the following assignments. Number one, first question that I have told my in lecture, please explain that why anode of an electrochemical cell is negatively charged. As my lecture, I have told you that in electrolytic cell, the anode is positively charged. But why anode of an electrochemical cell is negatively charged? Similarly, my second question that you will complete in your assignment, what are the applications of electrochemistry in daily life? You see in your daily life, what type of devices are you using in your daily life, and explain the role of electrochemistry in those devices. So, first question, why a node of an electrochemical cell is negatively charged? And secondly, what are the applications of electrochemistry in daily life? Thank you very much. Take care of yourself and Allah Hafiz.